Hello, I've got to tell you that in making this particular presentation, I've started and stopped it several times. I've written a few different scripts, and I've and also different outlines, and I haven't been 100% happy with it. And so, because I keep making it too complicated, so blending modes. Let me explain what I'm talking about. Blending modes are ways to blend different layers together in Photoshop. And I'm going to make a quick demonstration of a basic idea of what I mean by that. And you'll see on the screen that I have these three circles, three primary colors of light, red, green, and blue. And uh, and then I have them each on their own layer. So notice that, and then I have a white background. I could hide the white background, and then we get that checkerboard thing indicating that the background's transparent. But I'm going to keep that background white. Um, and then I'm going to do some blending right here. I'm going to take this top layer and I'm going to do a screen. And what this does is it says this top layer is going to behave like a spotlight on a white surface. So that red is the layer that I'm working with, and it's acting like a red. Wait, I'm gonna get rid of the background. It's adding, it's shining on this on these other two spotlights. And light, when you have two spotlights shining on each other, or when they have a place where they overlap, it's going to be lighter because light is additive. And we're dealing with in Photoshop where you're a lot of times in RGB, red, green, blue, which is an additive color scheme because you're dealing with light. I'm also going to do a screen um, blending mode for that second layer, for the green layer. And you'll see that now we have the green on blue, which when you do it with light, it makes that cyan color. And then the green and red makes yellow, and red and blue makes that magenta color. But all three of them together, when you shine the three primary colors of light on one spot, it makes white. Now I'm going to explain what I'm talking about with the blending modes. In blending modes, you have the color of the bottom layer. Then you have the color of the screen. Then you have the color of whatever you're going to put on top of that original pixels of the original color, and then you get the result. So it's just like I have a cellophane, a yellow. Let me do it with light. It's like I have a blue light that I shine onto a surface, and then I have a red light that I shine on to the surface, and then I kind of move them so they're together. And then I have another light that I shine on it, and the lights all kind of come together to create the result color. So the original color on this is this blue color. I put green on top of it, and the resulting color is this cyan. And same with right here. And then when all three of them are shining on the same spot, you get white. Because white light is the combination of all the primary colors of light in their combination when they're added together. Now, when you're talking about colors of pigment, then you start doing things. When you add like a blue and yellow, you get green, and that's subtractive color. It's pigment color, so the combinations are darker than they are lighter. But the basic idea that you get is you have the base color, then you have the color that it goes over it, and then you get the result color. But there are all these different modes, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time going into the different modes because it gets really complicated, and I just want to get you to see the basic idea of using this in screen mode. If we have these two as normal, then there's no see-through stuff. It's not like cellophane. So I'm going to go back to normal on these two layers, and you'll see that it's just the way it is. Now, I encourage you to do something like this. Just start experimenting with it, and there's a lot of things, but I'm not to get too far into this is beyond the scope of this class. You can take whole semesters in college on blending modes. But I'm going to show you some really basic stuff to do. And here I have this picture of Seattle that I took a few weeks ago. And you'll see that the blue, I'm not completely happy with it. I could go into camera raw, but I don't want to do camera raw adjustment on this because that just complicates the whole thing. I'm just going to show you how to do a blending mode. And so I have that background color, and I'm going to duplicate this background layer. I'm just going to duplicate it by going Control J. So now I have 2 layers of this same image. I'm going to, while I'm on the top layer, this layer 1, I'm going to go into here and I'm going to say to overlay. Overlay, what it does, it just kind of increases the it's like putting another copy of the image over, but a lighted image over it. And overlay makes it a little bit brighter. Here, I'll hide it and put it back in, and it kind of makes it more contrasty. Some people like to use, sometimes multiply looks better. Now, each one of these has its own purpose, but it ends up being a matter of experimentation a lot of times until you get to know what they're going to do. And I've done this a lot, so I know that overlay is going to give me more contrast. I'm still not 100% happy with those blues. I'm going to try one other. I'm going to try soft light, and that's not, the hard light makes it a little more contrasty. Hard light and overlay are going to both be a little bit different. But what I'm doing is I'm just like laying another layer, duplicating layer. Where this works is, say you have kind of a washed out image that the color isn't very strong. You can play with it this way. I could go into the filters here. I'm going to convert to smart filter so I can undo it afterwards. And then I'm going to go into camera raw, like I said I wasn't going to do. And I'm going to use this, the target adjustment tool, and I'm going to increase the saturation of the blues. So I'm just going to go right here. I'm just going to drag that across. I'm in saturation. There we go. And that makes the blues a little stronger. Click OK, and we go back into here, and look what it does to that. It has more of an effect that I want. I can turn down the opacity of this and get it to where it's not too extreme. I'm happier with that. Look at the original one, and now look at that with the blending mode and then an adjustment in camera raw. And I'm actually kind of happy with that image. This is a quick, so that's a really quick explanation of what you can do with blending modes and filters. By the way, I can turn off, as long as I do that smart filter with the camera raw thing, I can turn it off and on there. But at any rate, that's a really, really short, really basic overview of what you can do with blending modes, but we could spend hours and hours and hours and days on it. And there's a lot that I don't even know about. But that's it for this lesson. I have of course, this file is in the lesson, and you can play with it and do some of the same things. I'll even include the picture of the 3 circles. So I'll talk to you later.